Wadata _80. Wake up, gentlemen. I will caveat this by stating I am often wrong.
Well, okay, that's good.
You too can have a podcast, by the way. I believe the team makes a turn for the better this week. I think either Brock starts or DJ has a super short leash. The team needs a spark and just needs to get a win. Winning is contagious, as they say. As bad as the team has been, if we just catch the ball and hit wide open receivers, we were 2-1, probably 3-0. That said, looking back on it, if we could have kept Tate or just rolled with Brock and Luke and spent DJ's NIL money on another position, what would you have chosen? I'd say it looks like right now the need is offensive line, but who would have predicted that? Spend his money on 2 linebackers. Would that have been the route to take? I suppose, asked another way, would this team be 3-0 with Tate, Brock, and Luke and 2 competent linebackers? Good question. Dare I say a question, Corey, that's probably going to be generating discussion sparked by Cummins. Hit that friggin' generator, kids. Fire up the cameras. Yeah, there we go. It's time to generate discussion. This is sparked by Cummins. CumminsLifestyle. It's all one word. Follow them on Instagram. Check out all the great things they're doing with their own in-line of products. They'll be crisscrossing the country. They'll be making a stop in South Bend, Indiana on November 9th. That's when the Noles will be taking on Notre Dame. Hope to see you at the tailgate. I think I'll be out there, actually. There's a little kerfuffle. Maybe I wouldn't be in Chicago, or rather Notre Dame. We've got that all settled. Let's get this one settled, Corey. I like it. This is, it's like the old riddle as a kid when it's like you got the wolf, the chicken, and the bag of seeds, and you've got one canoe, and how can you bring them back and forth without the wolf killing the chicken and eating the seeds? Like, you've got resources here. What do you think? Do you think a Tate Rodemaker-led Florida State offense right now with – listen, Teddy Buchanan's a guy that we're going to see up close on Saturday. He's from California. He went to Cal Davis. He's now at Cal Berkeley, and he's looked really good through 3 games, and he's a really good linebacker. But what do you think if Florida State had, let's say, linebackers that were just a click off what Tatum and Kalen were, and you got Tate? Do you think Florida State's 1-2, 2-1, 3-0, or what would you spend on DJ's NIL money? Let's say it was $500,000. You think if you had a quarterback that you were like, good enough?
I understand the question. I understand the suggestion because the linebacker play has not been good. My only pushback there is the reason they're 0-3 is not because of the defense. The defense hasn't helped, but the defense, I would dare say, has been average through 3 games.
Yeah.
And a little above average, honestly, against Memphis. They scored 20 points. Yeah. The offense is what has to change. And so if you're riding with Tate or you're riding with Brock, I would spend it on a legitimate all-ACC future NFL draft pick wide receiver. Okay. Because the thought being, and I understand the thought about the offensive line too, like go get a really good offensive lineman or 2. I'm just not convinced that this scheme with this offensive line, I don't know, system in place, it wouldn't matter. I just think there's some fundamental things wrong with the way this, at least in the last year and a half, the way this system utilizes the offensive lineman. There's not a lot of just go push your guy out of the way, hat on a hat. There's a lot of dudes that just run free. There's a lot of just communication breakdowns, and you could go get the best guard in the country. That would help, but I don't know that it matters if the tackle next to him just lets a guy run down the line and makes a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. So I say give yourself a fighting chance with with an All-American type, all-conference type wide receiver. Okay. That's what I would spend it on to go along with Malik Benson and other guys. Because I get the question with the linebackers. The linebacker play has not been good. You wonder where that's going in the future. But this season has come off the rails largely because the offense has been completely impotent.
Fair. For what it's worth, the transfer portal database on On3 had DJ ranked the 68th prospect in the entire portal with an NIL value of $330,000. Most of these players don't have any values next to their names, but I mean, the upper end guys, Caden Proctor's a guy from Alabama that went back home to Iowa, but then came back to Alabama. They have him listed at $689,000. Zalance Hurd went from LSU to Tennessee. I think he's locked down one of their spots. He's 535 is the number he's listed at. There's a young man, golly, his name escapes. I had it on my screen there a second ago. Caden Green. I think he was the top guard in the portal. He went from Oklahoma to Missouri, and he's graded out like at 70, and he started all 3 games for Missouri. No value listed on him. But I mean, I guess there were guys out there, but Marvin Jones Jr. is at the top, near the top of this list, top 20 guy, listed at $253,000. So I mean, yeah, resources are limited. And you went after Richie Leonard. Richie Leonard started a bunch of games for not a great Florida team, but was a pretty good piece that you thought would, be in the mix for a Dimitri Emmanuel-esque kind of production. But that's the one thing that's tough to say, man. Because you can throw a lot of money at guys, but I don't know if Zalance Hurd from the Bayou of Louisiana wants to come play Florida State. Like, he wants to stay in the SEC. Caden Proctor, I don't think he left Iowa to go just to anywhere. Like he left Iowa to go to Alabama, played at Alabama last year, and then maybe got cold feet when they got the coaching change, or maybe decided to up his stock and transfer out like a DJ Lundy, perhaps.
Well, it's just like what position can make the most immediate impact and turn a horrible offense into an average offense. I don't know that one offensive lineman, even a great one, is going to be that much of a difference maker. Again, if they had gotten Caden Proctor, I'm not expecting that the Florida State offense would average 120 more rushing yards per game. It just wouldn't. That wouldn't make that big a difference. But if you have a guy that you just feel comfortable throwing it up to, and he goes and makes a couple of ridiculous game-changing plays every game or every other game, maybe he makes a play in the Georgia Tech game that gets you that win. Maybe he makes a play in the Memphis game that gets you a win, because you trust that he's just going to go make a play. I don't know. Maybe he's running wide open. Maybe he's impossible to cover. I just think that would be, for this particular team, I would much rather prefer to build my offense from the inside out, meaning give me a great offensive line and we can go figure out everything else. But that can't happen with just the money you're taking from DJ. So I would go ahead and say, give me one, maybe just one, but 1 or 2 really, really good wide receivers. And they can maybe change the numbers on the scoreboard. That's what we want them to do. And Malik Benson might end up having a really nice year. Let's see if he can build on his game that he had on Saturday against the Tigers.
Evan Stewart, who was at A&M, went to Oregon, wide receiver. 1.3 is what he's listed at. Again, these are
ballparky.
Yes.
They're not official.
Isaiah Bond, he's from Buford, by the way. I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Went from Bama to Texas. He listed at 763 boxes of ZD.
And how are they doing this year? Pretty good, those 2 receivers?
Yeah, they're not doing bad.
Think they would have made it a bit of an impact on this team?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Louisville got that kid from South Alabama that caught like 100 balls, Colin Lacey, and he broke his collarbone. So, I mean, you could have done that, and then who knows what happens with him. But that's probably the right choice, Corey, because the offensive line, I don't know if you could have gotten like the automatic slam dunk guys that would make you be bulletproof up there at the dollar figure that it probably cost you to get DJ, but you probably could have got 2, all conference-ish receivers. But, maybe that's what we would have said about Malik Benson if he went elsewhere, and we're still sitting where we're sitting right now. So you're sitting there and not doing anything else. Just pull out your phone, open up that Instagram app, or go to Instagram.com. Follow CumminsLifestyle. It's all one word. Shout out Noles, helping Noles. Your favorite football team doesn't stop pushing its limits on the climb to the top, and neither does a global power technology leader like Cummins. Cummins has released its new QG4000i generator and is taking it across the country to show America that whether it's turbo diesel engines or taking it easy in your RV, life is a little bit better with a touch of the Cummins lifestyle. The Own and Unplugged tour is crisscrossing the country, including a stop in South Bend, Indiana, home of Notre Dame, when the Fighting Irish host Florida State on November 9th. FSU will play like a champion. You come by and tailgate like one. Follow Cummins Lifestyle on Instagram for updates, and don't forget to get involved every week in generating discussion on Wake Up Warchant for your opportunity to win free Cummins swag and a chance at a portable generator or power station. Cummins Lifestyle on Instagram. Give it a follow.